Guys, welcome to Anime and Influencers, your favorite podcast where your favorite influencers come to talk about all things anime. Full videos will be on YouTube, audio, wherever you find podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music. And thank you all so much for being here. Today, we have someone that really doesn't need an introduction, but we're going to give him one anyways. We're talking about 8.9 million total subscribers on YouTube. Over 2 billion views. Yes, billion with a B. Billion views. 5.4 million followers on Twitch. And seriously, one of the most genuine and kind influencers I've personally met. Super awesome dude. And most importantly, the #1 Chun-Li fan in the world. Please welcome SypherPK, everyone.
Thank you so much for having me. Super excited to be here. Ready to talk about some anime, ready to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go, man. Thank you so much for being here. So, just to start it off, keep it simple. Like, what are you watching right now?
So, I am 100% watching Attack on Titan week to week. I did read the manga, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody because we're talking anime.
Yeah.
I do feel like as a streamer, sometimes I have to get ahead of it because people will try to spoil things, and I was like, no, I love this series too much, so I went ahead and read all of it. But I'm still like, it was like long enough ago where I kind of forgot some key details and things. I just kind of have a general scope of what's going on. So every episode is still super hype, and seeing it animated is always super lit. And I am trying to catch up right now on Demon Slayer.
Yes.
Started a while back. I liked it, but didn't kind of finish where it was going. And then I caught up with other stuff. And it's very easy for me just to start a series and kind of like drop it. Not because it's bad, but I just don't get time to watch it for a few weeks and then I forget about it. But I need to catch up because I feel like, the movie was lit apparently. The new season is like amazing. I'm seeing like little clips on my TikTok feed. That's actually how I like find new anime to watch a lot. I'm like scrolling through TikTok.
Oh.
People will post like little short clips and like edits, and it makes it just look so cool, right? And I'm like, oh, this is dope. And I'll like save it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back and watch it. So yeah, I'm watching Attack on Titan, and I'm trying to catch up on Demon Slayer currently.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up. I'm doing the same. I did this literally exact opposite thing. I read Demon Slayer manga because like after like one of the episodes, the animation was freaking dope, and now I'm just watching season 2 just honestly for the animation, but I forgot what happened, so it's like still like right there. It's like super fresh. So I got a couple questions for you here, but first, let's start from the beginning. What's your anime origin story? Like how'd you get started? When did you realize it was anime? What'd your parents think? Like how did you grow up watching it? Did a friend introduce you? You just watching it on TV? Like what happened there?
So I watched a lot of Cartoon Network when I was a kid.
Yes, sir.
And I guess like it wasn't Cartoon Network 24/7. Like it was like Cartoon Network, and then at night it was like Adult Swim. But I think on Adult Swim they had Toonami.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
And they would show different episodes. Like they would show Dragon Ball Z and they would show Naruto, and I would watch the Naruto episodes. But I'm telling you, like that was my only way to watch anime. Like I had the internet back then. I didn't think to go like look, and I don't even know if I could find episodes on the internet at the time. I feel like at that time, like people had to like actually watch the week-to-week episode or something, or you have to order the DVD and get it in the mail. But I was just watching random episodes. Like I would catch
I
like the tuning exams, and then they're with Gara, and then there's another one, and it was still Shippuden.
Yeah.
But I was just like jumping and trying to piece the episodes together to create a coherent story. And that's how like I really got into it. And I had to like get on at the specific time, 9 to 9:30 when they played the episode every night. So I was always like trying to catch it. And eventually I got like they reset. So they were starting from the beginning, and I got into a flow, and I started watching the early episodes and sticking to it. And then eventually I found a way to watch it online.
Yeah.
And ended up watching the whole series. And then through high school, the Shippuden episodes were releasing. And I was watching it every Thursday. And then I started reading the manga as well. And so Naruto, like I grew up on Naruto.
Yes,
like
sir.
it literally defined my childhood. It's gonna be my favorite anime of all time. Yes, it has a lot of filler. Yes, it has hundreds of episodes that you can probably skip. And when I rewatched it with my wife, I did skip all the filler except like some vital ones, just because I wanted her to experience the true story, and she loved it. So,
dude, yeah, that's freaking dope. Yeah, Naruto, like that was like what I literally remember going through the exact same thing. Like Naruto just kind of came on one day, like Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, like Full Metal Alchemist was like on. You're just watching TV, and it's like those are just
Yu-Gi-Oh
my
as
favorite.
well.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh
yeah.
my gosh, dude. That like Yami Yugi, the Enter the Shadow Realm, bro. Like that was like just the best. I didn't even know it was anime at first. I just always like gravitated to those shows, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the art style. I love the themes, like the more serious tones of a lot of the stories. I was really into it. Like, and I remember how terrified, like specifically with Naruto, I was terrified of Gaara. Like early stage Gaara. You know, he's a sweetheart now, but like they made him scary. The zoom ins on his face, and I was like terrified of him.
Yeah. So, oh man. Dude, yeah, dude, they made Gaara into a little pansy now, bro. Have you seen him with the new haircut in like Boruto?
Nah, some of the styles in Boruto, they really did them dirty, and some characters like, you know, I really want to see them live up to their expectations. I'm not caught up on Boruto. Like I watched the movie and a few episodes here and there, and I know some key details because people spoil things all the time, or I run into it on TikTok. But I want to catch up. I really badly want to just catch up because like it is my favorite series, and I deserve to like see it through, even if there's some, you know, slower parts in Boruto and some people have their feelings about it, but I still want to see it through just because I love it. But no, like the designs, some of the Boruto designs definitely little strange. And then some of the characters, like, you know, Rock Lee is one of my favorite characters from the original show.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like some characters never really got their time of day.
Yeah.
And I feel like Rock Lee was one of those people. Like, he was always about grinding, about, you know, persevering, even though he doesn't have access to ninjutsu and genjutsu, but he had his taijutsu. But like, he lost every fight in the series, and he never had his moment. Like, where is the, you know, the thing about, I love Naruto, but it's a story about comeback and like, you know, persevering even when you're at the bottom.
Yeah.
But to me, there's some missed moments there because there's some characters that should have persevered, that should have had bigger moments, like Rock Lee, and they didn't.
Yeah. And
Naruto had his moment, but then you realize, like, and I'm not trying to hate, Naruto was the chosen one.
Yeah.
He was the incarnate of Ashura and Indra. Like he was chosen, you know. So like, I wanted to see Rock Lee have his moment, and I was hoping maybe in Boruto he would have his moment, but I don't know. I haven't watched, but it doesn't seem like he's that involved.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're like focused on like more of the new generation of the Uchiha, the new generation of, you know, all the old people are kind of just like, they suck now, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Which is a little frustrating because like I feel like, I don't know if you feel like this. Do you feel like though, like the power creep, the power scaling is just like these little kids are way too powerful? Like Naruto, even though he's like a boss, and Sasuke back then was a boss, like they had to work way harder to like get even to like a certain level. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Oh, yeah, no, they definitely did. And the story, like the bad guys kept ramping up, and their power level kept ramping up, and there was never a true reset. But I do think, without saying any spoilers, but I do think they're attempting to kind of dial things back, to kind of slow things down. You have Naruto and Sasuke in their adult form. They're the two strongest beings that could handle pretty much anything. So the only option was to bring more people from space, and then you scale the power up to those people in Naruto, and like to actually have a threat to Naruto and Sasuke, you really had to dial it up. So I think they're trying right now. I'm not too sure what's going on in the show, but I think from what I've seen, they're trying to kind of scale things back down. And something I always thought of is like, you know, they did jump into Boruto, and we still have Naruto, and we want to see the end of this story, right? We want to see what goes on.
Yeah.
But I do feel like Naruto, the show, like it would be interesting to see some sort of time skip, like what they did with Avatar.
Yeah.
We had Aang, and then we go and we see a future Avatar, and it's more futuristic. And you have the Legend of Korra. Some people didn't like the show. I personally loved both shows.
Yeah.
But like I think Naruto like eventually needs to have some sort of like we need to go to the next generation of ninja.
Yeah.
And reset a little bit and keep this like the lore and the power and the ninjutsu. It's all very interesting, but it's not as interesting when you still have like these power goblins, Naruto and Sasuke creeping around. And listen, I don't want to see them go. Like I'll shed a tear the day that happens for sure. But we need to keep the story going.
Yeah.
Or we don't. Or maybe we need to end the story because sometimes they try to drag things on a little too much.
That's honestly how I feel about Boruto. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of refuse to watch Boruto just because I feel like, dude, it was done. It was good. He bow tie on it. He married the baddest chick on the planet. He got the waifu he deserved. He became Hokage. He got the respect of all the people. He brought Sasuke back. Like he did it all. Like, can't we just like tie a bow on it? Like I just felt like it was perfect, and I'm just like, I feel like Boruto, it was just a straight up money grab, which is, I get it, but like if they're gonna do that, yeah, put it like way far in the future,
Yeah, starts to give us a new story.
Yeah.
New protagonist, new setting, futuristic setting. I think like the Naruto, I think at the time they had radios and stuff. So it literally could have been just like maybe like an 70s or 80s like kind of, time era, and just give us that with new ninja, new like kind of, they were touching up on the scientific ninjutsu thing. I don't know, the little scroll stuff. And it'd be interesting to see how like maybe like the era of like in the future, let's say the era of shinobi's kind of is done for, and there's very little of them left, and like the people who are powerful now are just people who are using like scientific and kind of like whatever experiments they were running. It would create like an interesting story.
See, that would be interesting. Make it kind of like cyberpunkish.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be dope. I also have another question. Like, so you even said like you got your wife to like sit down and watch anime with you. For a lot of people,
that was hard.
Yeah, a lot of people watching, a lot of gamers, that's like the dream. So it kind of a two-part question. One, like, how would that go? You said it was hard. What was that process like? And then, well, let's just stick with that question for now.
So she had watched some anime up until that point, but mainly like slice of life movies, some of the older anime like from the early 2000s and 90s, and that's all she really like experienced.
Yeah.
But she never watched like a shonen and like kind of like a more, I guess, I don't know, kid oriented anime.
Yeah.
Because Naruto does start off like for a younger audience initially, but you can still watch it right now, even if you're older. Like you should go and watch it.
Yes. But watch Naruto.
What's interesting about the relationship between me and my wife is, we try to be invested in each other's hobbies and different things that we enjoy, and we both play video games. We both love watching movies, and she knows how much I like Naruto because I was always watching it, always referencing it, and it's like it's my, and I would show her like what I would do, I would show her like some key moments but like without spoiling, like look how cool this scene is.
Yeah.
And which scene I showed her that really got her to watch it, and this is kind of a little bit of a cheat on my part, like because this scene it's like a different kind of scene in Naruto. It was the scene where Shikamaru was talking to his dad after his sensei was defeated.
Yeah, dude.
That episode, they had a different I guess they had a different like company animate it.
Yeah.
And it was super intense, right? That scene when they were sitting at the they were playing the little checkerboards.
The chess game, yeah.
Yeah, and they had like a super intense moment, and Shikamaru and it's so emotional, the music and the coloring. I showed her that, and I was like, you need to watch this. Like, it's so good. Now, obviously, a lot of Naruto is not that, but I still got her into it, and she started watching, and we skipped the filler. Like I needed, because I'm trying to get her to watch hundreds of episodes. I think Naruto and Shippuden is like 700 and something, but in reality, like if you cut off the fat, it's more close to 350, something like that.
Something
So
like
like
that.
half the show is filler, and I went through a filler guide. I skipped the pure filler, and then the episodes that were like half and half.
Yeah.
What I would do is I would skip the flashbacks that are too repetitive. Like I was actively doing that because I knew that like, well, not that she would quit the show, but like I know how repetitive it can be, especially for someone who's trying to get into it.
Yeah.
For me, like I can sit there and watch the filler or watch the flashbacks because I'm so in love with the show, but I wanted to kind of speed it up for her a little bit and get her. Yeah, that's how I did it, and she loved it, and we watched Attack on Titan together after that, and we got into it and this Demon Slayer, and now we just watch anime together all the time.
That's freaking dope. So second question. I don't know. This is not really too anime related, but it's kind of. As an anime fan, as a gamer, you know, I want you to help put me and some of the people listening on some game. How did you find your wife? I know she was a viewer. I know she was watching you when you were in the hotel room. But how did that kind of come together? And you got any tips for people out there, you know, trying to find a significant other? I'm personally looking for a wife. So, like, I'm listening too.
Man, so, yeah, you're not going to like this answer because, you know, I was not the one to make a move. And I never have been the one to make a move. For me, you know, like when I was in high school and I had a crush on a girl, my game plan was to just be in her line of sight long enough till she came up to me and talked to me. That was my strategy. It did not work, okay?
Really?
So no, it did not work. And I just like I was never a ladies' man. I never really could start that conversation and didn't even try. And then one day, you know, she saw that I was streaming from the hotel room. Just a little backstory. Like at 18 years old, I packed my stuff and left my house because my parents didn't want me to be a streamer and I wanted to pursue streaming. And at the time I had pretty much like become a full-time streamer, but they still wanted me to quit. So I left and my wife saw a stream of me like at the hotel. She felt bad for me, and she, you know, reached out, said, you know, if you need to talk to somebody, I'm here.
Aww.
And we started talking, and within the first day, she was like, "Listen, I don't want to waste your time. I like you. I think you're cute. You want to have like a relationship and see where this goes?" And I said, "Yeah." So I didn't do anything. She came in, she swooped me up. And that's how it happened.
Bro, talk about like the most anime relationship ever. What in the world, bro? That's like straight out of a fairy tale.
First conversation we had, she called me. It was like 10 p.m. And this was actually the first time we talked. You know, I was in that hotel for a week looking for an apartment so that I can stream out of. And she reached out to me, but I never got back to her because I was like just not in a good spot to talk to anybody. I was really focused on getting this apartment. Then I got the apartment, set up my computer that day, saw her message, added her on Skype at the time, and we talked from like 10 to like 4 or 5 in the morning. She had work at 8. She still made it to work. And then, you know, that's how I knew like she was the one. Like she was a hustler. We got off at 4 or 5. She still made it to work. And then we talked the next night, and the next night she basically said, "Listen, I really like you. Let's see where this goes." I said, "Okay."
Dang. That's a freaking dope story. I did not know that. And dude, she still made it to work. Bro, your wife's a baller. Like I knew she was a baller, but she was like a baller back then. Like that's crazy.
And now, you know, fast forward 7 years, you know, we're business partners. We're launching Oni Studio. We launched Oni Studios. We're launching a huge studio space, and you know, she's business. She's, you know, managing employees, hiring, and I'm content, streaming, and just being like a video game star, basically. So it's a perfect combo. We both have very complementary personalities. I like being on camera. I like talking to people. He's more behind the scenes, and it just like it works.
That's freaking dope, dude. That's literally so cool.
Thank you.
Hopefully, you know, guys, just keep, you know, I don't know what to tell you that. So another thing is, dude, I don't know about you, but like when I was watching anime, you know, like 10, 15 years ago, growing up in elementary school, middle school, high school, like anime wasn't cool back then. Like, and I don't think people understand, especially like these people growing up, like, cause it's cool now. It's maybe not everybody likes it, but it's trendy, you know?
Yeah.
But,
and you can find a huge friend group of people who are into it, and it's becoming cooler and cooler by the day, honestly. Every generation is just really watching more and more anime. And then just like the amount of like animes out there is increasing. The amount of the quality is increasing.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
it was not cool. I didn't tell anybody I watched anime.
Okay, I was wondering how you navigate. I was like, did you get made fun of? Did you tell anybody? Did your parents? Did your friends? Like, what happened? What was that dynamic like?
There's like a weird like little dance that like I would do when I thought that somebody maybe watched anime, and like we talking to someone's like, oh, what shows you watch, and like what movies you like, and you kind of tested the waters a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you throw in something that's a little bit like, oh, Pokemon. Like everyone knew Pokemon. It's like, oh, maybe you throw in like, oh, I also watched the show Naruto, and like if they don't know what it is, you don't go any further. You're like, whatever. But if they're like, oh, you watch Naruto, that's awesome, and like you bond, and that's your friend now, So it was pretty low key. But now it's like, dude, now everyone watches. It's just like the cool thing.
Yeah, and I literally think you're part of the reason, like you and like the influencers, like you're one of the reasons anime is like cool now, because like you're a massive influencer, but also like you're pretty open about like liking anime. Like, how does that feel? Like you kind of help make the switch, because like I got made fun of, bro. People were making fun of me at school, at my church. You're like, you're weird, and so but now it's like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, what's crazy is that like what I really love specifically about Naruto in this situation is that a lot of the influencers and basketball players, NFL players, UFC fighters who like talk about anime, and they a lot of them are into Naruto. Naruto gets them hooked in. Naruto is just like it really like it's really the type of anime that might get somebody who's not into it into it once they really start watching. Nowadays, I mean, back then, nowadays there's a lot of different anime that you can really get into as a starter anime. If the story is good enough, like Attack on Titan is super good story, no filler, just pure content. That's a good one to start. Although it does set the bar pretty high. But yeah, like I see all these guys. I forgot his name.
What's he do?
UFC.
Stylebender? Israel Adesanya?
Yes,
bro,
yes.
He's my favorite.
He's always referencing Naruto and Rock Lee, and
he hit the Rock Lee versus Gara pose versus Anderson Silva. He was like,
I saw that. So like him bringing it, like obviously yes, me, but like also like a person who beats people up for a living talking about anime, it makes it have a little bit more coolness and weight. There's a lot of NFL players and basketball players who are also into it, and it's because like. The reality is like those guys are from our generation now. Back then, when we were younger, the basketball and NFL players, they were from like a different generation. And yes, some of them might have still watched anime, and that's super cool. Like it's super rare that someone like 10, 15 years older than us watched. That's awesome. It was super rare now, but we're like the generation that really like a lot of us did grow up watching it. Yeah. It was kind of low key, and we saw the transformation. And now there's a lot of us out there as NFL players, as NBA players, UFC fighters. Maybe we're in office or something, and we're into anime. That's what we do, and it's out there. So I think it's going to be even crazier for the next generation. I think it's going to be even more references and more, anime drops and more anime inspired, like just like everything, personalities, design, like stories. Like, it's going to be cool for sure.
Dude, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I wonder if there's going to be. I mean, there's already like a lot of like merch companies and doing your company and like other companies just doing anime type merch, or like Hypeland doing all kinds of stuff. But like, I wonder if there's gonna like if one of those is gonna like go like super mainstream, like that'll be interesting to see, like it go actually like mainstream.
I mean, we're seeing some pretty big collaborations with Naruto, Attack on Titan. I know Champion did something. I think it eventually will. I think something will pop off like that.
Yeah. How do you feel about Sakura?
Man, so there's a lot of hate towards Sakura. but I actually don't hate her
Really?
because to me, here's how I see Sakura. Sakura is a very normal ninja, right? Very average, not like crazy skilled. At least in the beginning, she develops, and
average.
but her strength like was due to the sheer pressure of what she's surrounded by. Like she eventually turns into a diamond. Like in Boruto, she's super strong and has all the strength. But she is the most average ninja, and to me, she's just like a very basic girl that's in this crazy situation where her two teammates are gods of the shinobi universe, and she's thrown into this like. She is what most people who are listening and watching would be in the Naruto universe. Like, because Naruto and Sasuke are like, they're LeBron and Michael Jordan. But she's just someone who likes to play basketball.
She just made the high school varsity team.
And she's judged. Yeah, she's judged based off of these two like gods she's surrounded by. But in reality, is most of us would be Sakura in that situation. Most of us would just not know what to do. She's just a girl who had a crush, obviously. And yes, she had a very toxic relationship. But how many people out there are in toxic relationships right now? Like we are Sakura. Naruto and Sasuke are just different levels of beings that it's hard to judge. Like so many people hate on her. I don't. I think she was dealt a tough hand and she had too much to live up to. But even with all that, she did get some strength and she became really strong, and like she achieved something through the sheer pressure of what she's surrounded by.
Okay, honestly, that's the most fair assessment of Sakura I've ever heard. And like I feel like most people, the joke is like she's trash, she's useless, right? But like I feel like most people don't like her because she was a jerk to Naruto. Like
that is
from
true.
episode 1, or not episode 1, maybe episode like 5 or whatever. Naruto transformed into Sasuke. Remember that episode? He had to go to the bathroom, and she was just like trash talking him behind his back. Then you get to Shippuden, and you have the moment where it's literally like, Naruto, I love you, and he's like, I hate women who lie to themselves. Like she's trying to like, she's just like being manipulative. I feel like that's kind of why people don't like her. Like, I don't know. What do you think about that?
No, so she definitely has like faults. And if like that's the reason people don't like her, that's like kind of like the most valid reason. I think her strength and capabilities, it's not a valid reason because she's not destined to be, the reincarnation of Indra. And it's like when she was a little girl, I excused it because she was a little girl. She's just a little girl with a crush, and they can be really toxic, manipulative. When she was older in that situation, I took it as her trying to lie to Naruto for his safety. And it was a bad lie, a really painful lie.
Yeah.
But she was, in a way, desperate because she felt like he was going to get hurt or Sasuke was going to die as a result of him going to go look for him. So another situation where it's like, you really think about the age at the time, 16, 15 years old.
Okay, but 16 in anime is like 30 in real life. Come on, bro.
No, I know, because Naruto at 16 was pretty much a Kage level for sure. Like it's weird. The way they age in anime is really strange. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Like within 3 years, Naruto went from little kid to like literally next level. I think I mean, there's reasons to dislike her, but a lot of the times I see people just say like, oh, Sakura is trash, like she's just no skill, no talent. But like most shinobi are on her level or less in the universe. She just happens to be surrounded by really good shinobi.
Yeah, I would say Sakura's more powerful than like Hinata, but the thing is like, Hinata, even though she was really weak, and Hinata did less than Sakura, I think everybody agree. But you know what Hinata did, which everybody loves her? She she was loyal. Like Sakura was like, you don't know where she's standing, Like Hinata literally almost died. She might have died, I don't know. But like you know what I'm saying? Like
I think something to think about as well is it's kind of funny, but Sakura's mental health. The person that she loved, on multiple occasions tried to kill her. on multiple occasions tried to kill her.
Yeah, you think you would like be like, hey, this is not good. Let me move my affections.
And I think it's not fair for us to judge how she's coping with it, because I don't think anybody has had their someone that they like try to kill them multiple times. So once that happens to us, then we can see Sakura with a clear image. I feel like she went through a lot emotionally and was shattered, and she was so sheltered up until that point. She had her mom and her dad. Like, it's super rare in anime to have your mom and your dad.
Yeah.
She was a super sheltered, like, girly girl. And then all of a sudden her partner, or not her partner, her crush tries to kill her multiple times throughout the show. Up until the end, he hits her with that dirty genjutsu that, like, when I saw it in the manga, I was like, what did he just do? What? Why? Is that necessary? In the heart? Like, what's going on here? And I'm just like, come on, like, it's crazy. So I do feel like Sasuke has destroyed her mentally. And I feel like her actions are not excusable, but like understandable as to why she ended up doing a bunch of bad decisions. Like, she's not all there mentally.
That is... This is crazy. I didn't think I was actually going to be like semi-converted on the stream, but like, it makes more... I still don't like her, because everybody has a choice. But it makes more sense that she's just literally like hecked up in the head because her crush at a very young age, their life or death situations, they're both...
You know what's interesting? I had the same thought about Sakura, but when I rewatched it with my wife, she was the one who was like, I get why she's doing this. She's like traumatized. And the reason why she's like holding on to Sasuke, it's like that toxic relationship, like she's like trapped in it in a way. Like, she started telling me I started thinking about Sakura from a more like mental health perspective, like what's going on in your head.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, like, damn, like, okay, she has all these expectations to do well because she's surrounded by Naruto and Sasuke. She was sheltered for a long time, didn't really have any grief. And like her first real grief is like, Sasuke leaving the village and then a few years later trying to kill her, and multiple times trying to kill her. So it's like, she didn't have the upbringing to deal with that kind of like stress and pressure. And as a result, she like kind of combusted and made a lot of these bad decisions. So that's how like my wife made me see it. And I agreed with her. I don't like her, but I can kind of understand her a little bit better.
I guess Kubo didn't write it. Kishimoto is just a genius that's thinking like way farther ahead than all these little kids, because there's no way we're able to comprehend that.
I do feel like Kishimoto, he spent a lot of time developing some characters, and some characters, they were a little stagnant through the show, but it's like so many different characters that some eventually, like, some get neglected a little bit in their character development. But like, I can't judge him for that because I've never written such a huge, series. But I feel like Sakura kind of fell victim of a little bit of that. Like, her character development didn't really kick in until Boruto, in my opinion. Like, she was really, like, up until the very end, didn't really learn a lot from what was going on. As opposed to someone like Naruto, someone like Sasuke, who he eventually hit his character development moment towards the end, but some other characters like developed a little bit more, and some kind of just like stayed flat. I really wish I saw more Rock Lee character development. He had his moment, and he was injured early on, but like I never really like saw the comeback story. I feel like Rock Lee was the story that not that should have been told, but like he should have had his moment.
He should have had more kind of like I get you on that. Like, kind of Hinata even got a moment, but like Rock Lee really went through all of that and
didn't have his moment
for nothing. So is Rock Lee like your favorite character, you'd say?
He's not my favorite character. I think for me, like early Naruto, Itachi's my favorite character. I
Itachi's,
love how
I
cool-
mean, you already
yeah.
know, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And but I do feel like the most lessons came from Rock Lee's original story, like his story about not having genjutsu and ninjutsu, and his fight versus Gaara and like his recovery. That was like beautiful and it was very motivational. And so for me, that's where I started getting into as a kid. Like it was a tuning exams.
Yeah.
So it really had a big impact on me of like kind of pushing, and like even if you're at a disadvantage, you can work hard enough to surpass people who are ahead of you.
Yeah.
Because everyone's born with a different hand, but Rock Lee had a really bad hand and he still worked hard and became super strong. But we never saw him win. Like he became super strong, but he still lost every fight in the show that he was a part of. So that was a little painful. Like I feel like he deserved more.
Yeah. No, I get that. That is kind of frustrating. I never thought about that because I was always just like, I love Naruto because I feel like I related to Naruto.
I didn't think about it either. These kind of things come to me like after, like when I start thinking of the show now, I'm like thinking about some of the characters and I'm like, damn, like Rock Lee, like he flatlined after the Gaara arc, like he just flatlined, and some other characters too, they just kind of went flat, and all the focus went onto Naruto and Sasuke, and that's okay, but I still would have loved to see more character development for all the original like Chunin.
Yeah, they developed some like Gaara a little bit. They kind of just threw the rest of the Sand Village out the gate.
Yeah.
But honestly, like that's why I love anime and like specifically Naruto, because Naruto always have a special place in my heart because that's just like it was me. But it's more than just entertainment, right? It's like life lessons. It's like character development.
Oh yeah.
It'll push you to be better. I feel like a lot of the stories, at least the shonens,
100%. There's so many life stories, just motivation, sheer motivation, and a lot of the shonen anime is there, and just like moral lessons, life lessons. Like I love a story where it's like someone's weak in the beginning, and they work throughout the show to become super strong. And that's Naruto, that's Demon Slayer, a lot of stories like that. So it's like that really motivates me, and I take that into my content. I take that into like workouts. I take that into every part of my life. So it's I don't think I've been impacted by a normal movie.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting is like a more traditional TV show, especially nowadays, as actors are like more popular, more like available on social media and stuff. The immersion is almost ruined.
Yeah.
Like when I watch an anime, I see this character for who they are. It is a fictional character, but it is a fictional character, and I don't necessarily see the voice actor or anything. I just see a character.
Yeah.
But when I watch a show and I recognize the actor and like I know the other shows and things that they've done, it almost takes me out of the story a little bit. And I can still enjoy a movie or a show with real people, but the immersion is broken for me.
Yeah.
Compared to anime, where I'm watching it and I'm like, this is a universe, a fictional universe, but it is there intact, as opposed to like a more Hollywood set where it's like, okay, I know this actor, like,
yeah,
maybe I even played Fortnite with them, or maybe they were in a different show I was watching. So it's like, it's different. It's like, it's harder to be as invested.
Yeah, Spider-Man will always be Tom Holland. Like Tom Holland, if he ever plays Spider-Man, like he's just Tom Holland. Like you can never really be like,
it's hard,
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's not like back when you didn't know who Tobey Maguire was, you know, and you're just like, oh, Spider-Man. I was like, that's Tom Holland.
Yep.
Oh man. All right, man. One more thing. I got this little game I like to do with people. And I don't know if you've seen this, but it's called Overrated or Underrated. And so I'm gonna just throw out a couple things, and you just tell me overrated or underrated, and then maybe a little reason like why you think it's overrated or underrated. Ready? All right. I don't even know if you've seen some of these actually. Have you seen My Hero Academia? Overrated or underrated?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like every time I see a My Hero Academia like TikTok or something, comments go crazy. Like some people seem a little obnoxious in the fan base. That's all I'm gonna say. So Can't comment. Can't comment.
All right, fan service. We talking about plot.
It's a little overrated, but no, it's a little overrated. Sometimes it can be. Sometimes that's what gets people who are new to anime turned off from anime.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to be a little bit more invested in anime for fan service to do something for you. But yeah, a little overrated.
Okay. Attack on Titan.
Oh. Rated perfectly, dude. I mean, everyone's going crazy. Like, it's not overrated. I love the show, but it's not underrated either because it's like everyone's like talking how great it is. We'll see how people react to the ending. I still think it's perfectly rated. Like, it is the #1 show right now, and it deserves to be there. Perfectly rated.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Attack on Titan is literally exactly where it should be. It's so good. By the way, are you a Jaegerist or nah? Like, what side are you feeling on that one?
Man, dude, you know, when I was so I read the manga, so I know the story.
Yeah.
I don't want to like give too much, but you know, I was definitely rooting for Eren, like a lot. But I don't know, man. It's a tough one. It's tough. It's tough. Like, you like to think, you know, is there another solution, or was this the only option?
Yeah.
And I don't know. And if it was the only option, then by all means, you know, do what you gotta do. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, we don't want to give too many spoilers for sure, but dude, I just think that Eren has stayed so consistent through the show. He was always pissed at, you know, the situation he is in, at the Titans, and then it kind of transformed, pissed at the people who put him in that situation.
Yeah,
and he's loyal to a fault, right? He's protective and loyal to his friends, and that's who he really cares about, and that's why he's even doing all of this, right?
Yeah, and Eren is a monster out of necessity.
Yes.
In my opinion, because there's evil out there that wants to destroy his homeland, his island, his friends, and the only way to fight back was for him to become that monster, you know?
Yeah. Before he even existed, by the way. Literally, that evil was out there, but people were trying to kill him before he was born.
Yep.
And so it's like, you kind of got to respond that way, but it just sucks seeing the friend base splintered now because people were like, no, and he's like just one track, like, okay, this is it. This is a permanent solution to protect all of you. And they're like, we don't want to be protected like this. And it's like, oh, man. All right, so anime games.
Overrated.
Oh, really? Wow.
I think anime games need to be better. A lot of them become fighting games, and I feel like those are cool. And I played the Naruto Ninja Storm. I like Naruto Ninja Storm. I like some of the story, but video games have progressed a lot, and I feel like anime games have been kind of the same for a while now.
Yeah.
And I would like to see them like step up their game. I feel like we could really have a top tier, like a top 5 on Twitch anime game come out. I haven't seen that for a long time.
Yeah. What kind of game do you think it would be? You think they should do it like an anime battle royale? Like, you think like Viz should come out with something? What do you like? Shonen Jump like should come out with something like put like with a budget behind it, or what do you think?
Well, I mean, it could be an anime battle royale. It could be something similar to an open world exploration. Like we see Elden Ring dominating right now. Imagine if Elden Ring was more anime focused.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
Attack on Titan, Naruto combined.
Like there needs to be something. I feel like right now, I don't know 100%, but I think like the rights to a lot of animes are the rights to their games are kind of limited to a certain amount of companies, and a lot of those companies are in like Asia, so like they have their own style, and it might suit their communities more than like the entire world community. But I don't know. I haven't seen like, I don't know. Is it Bandai that makes a lot of the anime games?
Yeah, Bandai Namco.
Yeah, I feel like I mean they've done good job with some stuff, but I feel like they're limited as to what they can do.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they can come out with a battle royale or some sort of open world exploration, but there needs to be an anime that's like on that level, an anime game that's on that level that comes out.
They all kind of suck. They did make that one fighting game, but it was like an arcade fighting game. It wasn't that good, and I forgot what it was called, and it was like really high on Twitch for like 2 days.
Yeah, I think I remember that one too.
Yeah. All right, a couple more. Ramen, overrated or underrated?
Underrated, because a lot of people, like, when they think ramen, they think of the ramen cup noodles.
Yeah.
But if you have like actual legit authentic ramen, it's mind blowing. If you've never had like real legit ramen, the cup noodle ramen is not legit ramen. Like, it's good. Like, I ate a lot of cup noodles growing up, but ramen's like can be next level, and a lot of people don't really know. A lot of people just think, when they think ramen, they immediately think of the ones you just put in the microwave for like 90 seconds.
Okay.
They don't think of like legit. Have you had like legit ramen? I'm sure you have.
I have. Dude, there's like an aftertaste that's like really strong that I don't like in like the pork broth and the beef broth. I don't know what it is. It's like really strong.
So I've had a lot of different like authentic ramen. And there's some that are really thick and make you feel like heavier afterwards. And there's some that are like not as thick. So like, I get what you're saying. I've experienced that. I typically try to stick to like chicken broth because it's like a little bit lighter. And yeah, but yeah, I think you give it another try with maybe a different broth, a different spot.
Yeah, spicy miso broth. Actually, I really like that. It's not as heavy and it's like good. All right, got like 3 more. All right, college, overrated or underrated? College
is overrated right now. Let me just speak like from what I know, right? I dropped out of college, but right now, like we're hiring people at Oni Studios, and when we're looking at people's applications, we're looking at their skill set and their experience. Now, unfortunately, some places do require you to have a college degree to even get in the door, but like at Oni, we're not hiring based off of college degrees. We're hiring off what you know, what you can do, and what you've done. So I think a lot of companies are kind of shifting in that direction, especially like new media companies, content related companies. And college can be a way for you to figure out what you want to do. And if like you want to be something like a doctor, obviously you have to go. Yeah. But if you are more in like, I mean, coding, I've seen people like on TikTok talk about how like they can get a coding job just by getting a certificate, like not going to college, but like being certified in certain languages and then going to get a job, getting some years of experience and then like moving up. I do feel like it's a little overrated right now, for sure.
It's so expensive. It's overrated, I feel like, mostly because it's so expensive. Yeah.
Puts you in debt, kind of sets you back, and you have to pay off that debt in your early life, which is not fun.
No. All right. Pokemon, overrated or underrated?
Ooh. Just a little bit overrated. Just a little bit.
Oh, they gonna get you in the comments for that one. Why do you say that?
Maybe it's a personal thing. It never clicked for me that hard. Like, I still watched a lot of the early Pokemon, but I never was as invested into it. Yeah. And I never, Ash, he's the main character, but I never saw him like Naruto or any other main character ever. Like I felt like he was very bland as a main character.
Yeah.
Like Pikachu was the star.
Pikachu was the main character.
Yeah. I don't know. I never got emotionally attached to Ash as a character at all. Like at all. Yeah. So that's where it like kind of lost me a bit. But that's more of a personal one.
Yeah. Did you find like did you watch Digimon growing up?
A little bit, yeah, but I kind of forgot.
Oh, okay, never mind. I always thought Digimon was so slept on. I feel like it was so much better, more mature, better fights than Pokemon, but that's a different story. And then One Piece. You seen One Piece?
Have not watched a single episode.
Bro, like, is that like a plan? Is that you gonna like schedule that in? Like, what's so
for me, this is how I see One Piece and Hunter x Hunter, because I haven't watched Hunter x Hunter either. I see myself in a few years not streaming as much and having a lot more free time, and then diving into like 1,000 episodes of One Piece and like the 150 of Hunter x Hunter. I fully intend to watch them, and I want to.
Yes.
I'm just not in a position. Right now, I'm only in a position to take on anime that are like short, 13 episode seasons. We got Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, like that. Like those are the ones that I can actually absorb right now.
Yeah.
but I can't dive into like a full One Piece like marathon yet.
Oh, okay.
I want to though.
Yeah.
I want to, and I respect it. And the fact that it's still up there after all these years, there's definitely that means there's some sauce there. That means there's something good there.
Yeah. And kind of one last thing. Do you have any like an underrated anime, like an anime maybe a lot of people haven't heard of? You know, 1 or 2 or 3, whatever. People like it's not super mainstream, or maybe it was, but people don't really talk about it. That's like really good that you would suggest.
I think this one is a little bit popular, but maybe some people who are watching or haven't seen it, and it's Parasyte. It's 1 season. I think it's on Netflix. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's dude, Parasyte.
Yeah. The soundtrack is also amazing, like super underrated soundtrack. But yeah, Parasyte for sure.
Dude, awesome. Well, that's gonna conclude this, Sypher. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Guys, Sypher is like freaking literally like one of the most like seriously like amazing, like humble, kind dudes.
Thank you, man.
I asked him how long he could come on. He said 20-30 minutes. It's been like 52.
This has been fun.
Yeah, man. That's my goal, is make fun, engaging content and stuff that I would want to watch, you know? And
absolutely.
Dude, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up, there's a lot of quickly, I guess, obviously all this stuff's happening with, you know, Ukraine, Russia, just terrible stuff in the world. It's got a lot of people worried, scared. It's like we don't know what's gonna happen, you know. And I think regardless of wherever you're at in the world, like nobody kind of knows, you know. And I think you have a really special platform and like a powerful voice to like encourage people, because you're so, you know, well known and people respect you and they take that. And so I was just wondering, like, if you have any words for your fans, just people watching you, people in general, to, I don't know, encourage them, uplift them, or yeah, anything you'd want to say.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of scary things happening in the world right now, and there's a lot of just like uncertainty out there. I think it's really important now more than ever to be involved in things that you enjoy and that make you happy, and spend time with friends, watch your favorite shows, and just like really enjoy yourself. Like, you know, it's so easy to get super like anxious when you look at the news and you see all the negative that's being brought up, and it's things that you should know about and be aware of, but don't let it consume your life, unless obviously like you are living in that and you need to let it consume your life so that you can kind of figure out what to do and be safe. But there's always like negative news out there, and if you're always consuming it 100% of the time and your entire life revolves around it, it can affect you mentally. So be aware, be informed, but don't let it bring you down. Like, still make time to enjoy yourself and live your life.
Yeah, I think, thank you so much for those words, amazing words. And especially in the social media generation, news generation, like, there's terrible stuff happening 24/7, and like, we gotta kind of focus up and sometimes put blinders on, you know, be aware, but not too aware, because you can't function if you know every single bad thing that's going on, you know. And that's why I got to get off Twitter sometimes.
For sure.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Guys, this was the Anime and Influencers podcast. If you would like to see anybody on next, DM me on Twitter, talk to me on Instagram, comment below, and we'll try to get them on. Thank you so much for coming, Sypher.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.